Hi, this is Abe Friedtanzer from ShockYa, and I'm thrilled to be here today with Leo Sheng talking about the L word Generation Q. How are you today, Leo?
Good, Abe. Thank you. How are you doing?
Great. Thanks so much for being here with me. Can you
Thanks
tell
for
me
having me.
what's your relationship to the original L word series? Did you watch it when it was on?
Not when it was on, because I was a little too young. I was like 10 or 11, I think, when I first stumbled across it. And I think I knew in the back of my mind I was probably not the age demographic I should have been. But yeah, I mean, like, it was the first time I had encountered on screen or like ever anywhere in my life a trans man. I had never met another trans man. I didn't know trans men existed. And so that's in many ways what kind of set me on my own journey to discovering who I was and knowing that that was an existence that was possible.
The portrayal of trans men in the original L word is something that's been criticized. Is that something that you were apprehensive about taking on this role for this show, or excited to do a different way?
Yeah, I think with any sort of legacy like that, any legacy that involves both positive and critique, I think that I was a little apprehensive because I didn't know if I was the right person to then kind of continue the stories forward. And it was also exciting to see the direction that Marcia wanted to go and where everyone was hoping to the kind of where the needle was headed. I think especially in the last 15, 20 years, as we've seen language around trans and non-binary communities shift from our like in community to like mainstream online, more accessible, more like available for everyone else to kind of understand and learn. And so to see that those two pieces come together, both like the pieces of history and our present, I mean, trying to find a way to make it feel authentic and to make it feel like we're honoring where we've been with this show and like where we want to go was both scary and kind of thrilling.
Absolutely. And so, how did the opportunity come up, and what was the process of getting attached like?
Yeah, yeah, it was. Had done an independent film right before starting grad school, and then I was in the middle of grad school when we went to Sundance, and I met my manager there, and she gave me her card as I was leaving, and the film was going to other circuits, film festival circuits, and so a few months after Sundance, I contacted her and asked her if even if I don't continue acting, do I need to have some sort of someone in my life to help me navigate what could come out of this? And about a week later, if that, she emailed me and said, I know we just talked, and I know you're on this path of school, and you don't really know where you want to go with acting. But this breakdown came out, and I think you'd be great for it. And I was in class looking at it as one does, and reading that it was explicitly for an Asian trans man. And that was incredible to see. Again, even though if I hadn't really had a lot of experience with casting or seeing breakdowns, but something in me knew that that wasn't common at all to see specifically an Asian trans guy being wanted for a role. And so I self-taped from Michigan during finals. And then I flew out back when travel was a lot different. I flew out and did a screen test and a chem read with Ari, who played Danny. And this was all within a month. And then May 30th, I got a call that I got the role.
That's great. So, how much are you like Micah in your own life, and what was most challenging to relate to about him?
I'm a lot like Micah, I think, and that's a testament to both the writing and the desire for the writers to fit our voices. We had meetings both before season 1 and season 2, though virtually in season 2, about who we were as people. I remember in season, like before moving out to LA, when we were doing Zooms, they wanted to know like, what did I enjoy in life? What were my hobbies? What is it like when I feel angry? What is it like when I feel in love? Like when I've been in love? What is my relationship with my family like? They want to know like me. And we did a little bit of that in season 2 as well. Like, how are you feeling now? Like, is there anything you want to see? Is there anything that you've experienced that you want to bring to the show? So it's really, any similarities I have between Micah are because they've included those. Like Micah, I'm very dedicated to this idea, this concept of family, whether it is immediate blood family or, whatever type of family you're raised in, and the chosen family that you find along the way in your life. Micah has housemates. I have housemates. I live with 3 housemates and a baby, and I think there's a sense of like just deep connection and desire to be part of a family that I relate to, and protectiveness and loyalty. I'm also socially awkward, You know, I don't think Micah's inherently socially awkward, but I think that he is, when it comes to his friends, he does have a deep, he love for them. And when it comes to kind of branching out, maybe he's a little nervous, and I have similarities around there. And social work, interest in social work, and desire to provide support and resources to people is something that I will relate to him on.
No, it's great. It's really cool to see that approach. And so while you're involved in some of the overall drama of the show, you also have your own plot line with Jose, which has its own complications. What can you share about building that relationship with Freddie?
Oh my gosh, Freddie is incredible. We met right before we started filming at this. We went for burgers at Bel Campo, and every time I passed it, I think about the first time I went there was with Freddie. And we, from the start, we realized how important the story was, and like what we wanted to do was create a story that didn't feel, like it was necessarily checking boxes, or that people would see it and be like, oh, of course they have to do this. We want it to feel real, and we want it to feel authentic. And I think Freddie is a great listener in terms of a scene partner, as a person. I felt very comfortable with him, and I appreciated his willingness to go for this storyline. And I'm, as a queer person myself, it's important to see, I know there's a conversation of like queer people playing queer characters. And I think if there are going to be non-queer people playing queer characters, like the respect and like understanding of like that responsibility, like I sense that from Freddie. And so as we had the reveal, I think we both felt a little sad for our characters and for each other. And I think, but I'm deeply like grateful for having worked with Freddie and like what he brought to Jose and the relationship.
That's great. And what else can we expect from Micah this season without giving away too much?
Of course. I'm really excited to see people watch Micah kind of come into his own more. I think we saw him at a point in his life where he's like, he's fine with doing hookups. He's not really dating. And as we saw, when he started dating, he kind of got his heart broken a little bit. And I think he's kind of coming into like this understanding, like that's part of life. And and if he wanted to move on, that would be okay. He's not, I think he's very much kind of trying to listen to what his gut tells him to do, listening to his instincts, listening to his heart, and understanding that maybe as much as he loved Jose, like there are other parts of him he gets to like be open to.
Do you feel that there are other TV shows right now that are positively and authentically portraying the trans and queer experiences?
I think there are shows that have these moments of like, wow, that's, for me, when I watch them, like I've experienced that. I think one of my easiest kind of examples in my mind is Brian Michael Smith on 911 Lone Star. He was on season 1 as Pierce. And I think what we see with him, particularly in season 1 around dating, was very like relatable for me, and like not knowing when to disclose you're trans, and like not knowing what the reaction is going to be. That's like the most immediate, because I was just talking to Brian the other day. But yeah.
Are there any other shows that you're enjoying watching right now during the pandemic and now?
I mean, I feel like I'm one of millions of people who's watching Ted Lasso. I even just rewatched the first season with my roommate. Watching Schmigadoon, also on Apple TV, hilarious. My roommates and I are watching Never Have I Ever, the second season, and that's been really fun as well. I love, I love a good feel-good show. I'm a sucker for those.
I agree. And are you working on anything else right now?
A couple of things, and I'm excited for when they're going to be announced and released. And kind of in this hiatus, got to explore a little bit of my own creative side and writing, and practicing with that, and just kind of figuring out what stories I want to tell.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today. And everybody watching should make sure to watch new episodes of the L Word Generation Q, Fridays on demand and Sundays on Showtime.
Sweet.
Thanks so much, Leo. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you.